England was divided by religious tensions between Protestants and Catholics during the early 17th century. Following King James VI's ascension to the throne in 1603, Catholics expressed greater tolerance, as his mother, Mary, Queen of Scots, was Catholic. James, on the contrary, followed the policy of persecuting Catholics introduced by his predecessor Elizabeth I, prompting mounting discontent among the Catholic masses. James's stance towards Catholics was more lenient than that of his predecessor, perhaps even tolerant. He pledged that he would not persecute any that will be quiet and give but an outward obedience to the law, and regarded exile as a better solution than the death penalty. Some Catholics thought that the martyrdom of his mother, Mary, Queen of Scots, would encourage James to become a Catholic, a shared hope among the Catholic houses of Europe. During James VI's reign, the religious wars in Europe escalated. Protestants and Catholics were involved in violent mutual persecution across the continent. Following the Protestant Reformation, Catholics repeatedly attempted to assassinate Protestant rulers in Europe and England, including plans to poison Elizabeth I, James VI's predecessor. The king made his opening speech to the First English Parliament on March 19th, where he voiced his desire to secure peace, but only through the profession of the true religion. He also referred to a Christian union and reiterated his desire to avoid religious persecution. It was clear to the Catholics that they were not to increase their numbers and strength in the English kingdom. On April 24th, the Popish Recusants Act 1605 was introduced into Parliament. It forbade Roman Catholics from practicing as lawyers and doctors, or acting as guardians or curates, as well as allowing magistrates to raid their houses for weapons. Those who objected would be fined or lose 2/3 of their land if they did not receive the sacrament of the Lord's Supper at least once a year in their Church of England parish chapel. It also made it high treason to obey the authority of Rome rather than that of the king. Several Catholics, outraged by such injustice and power abuse, started to hold secret meetings to vent their anger and hatched plans to assassinate the king and other members of the monarchy. Robert Catesby was one of the main architects of the 1605 Gunpowder Plot. The plan entailed a group of 13 conspirators, including the famous Guy Fawkes, an English soldier and one of the best-known elements of the 1605 Gunpowder Plot. He was raised in a Protestant family, but converted to Catholicism after the death of his father and his mother's second marriage to a Catholic. The Catholic conversion was a turning point in Fawkes' life, as he became deeply devoted to the Catholic cause. Fawkes left England in 1593 and joined the Spanish army in the 80 Years' War, fighting Protestants in the Netherlands. He acquired experience in combat and explosives, skills that would be key in the Gunpowder Plot. During his time in Europe, Fawkes also adopted the name Guido, the Italian form of his name. Fawkes returned to England in 1604 and was recruited by Robert Catesby to join the Gunpowder Plot. The plan was to blow up the House of Lords during the opening of Parliament on November 5, 1605, killing King James VI and many Protestant leaders. The conspirators were hoping to spark a Catholic revolt that would result in the reinstatement of Catholicism in England. The group rented a house next to Parliament and stockpiled 36 barrels of gunpowder in a cellar under the House of Lords. Guy Fawkes took it upon himself to oversee the barrels stored in a cellar under the House of Lords and to light them at the right time. His experience with explosives and religious ardor made him the perfect candidate for this critical assignment. Some plotters were worried about fellow Catholics attending the opening of Parliament. At the end of October 1605, the Catholic nobleman Lord Monteagle was sent an anonymous letter warning him to avoid Parliament on the opening day. He delivered it to Robert Cecil, the king's secretary, who ordered a search of Parliament's premises. On the night of November 4th, Guy Fawkes was caught in the cellars, along with the gunpowder barrels. He first gave the false name of John Johnson and claimed to be acting alone. He was arrested, and after torture, revealed the names of the other conspirators. Most were captured or killed while trying to flee. In January 1606, Fawkes and the other survivors were tried and convicted of treason. They were hanged, dragged, and dismembered, a brutal punishment reserved for traitors at the time. The Gunpowder Plot made an enduring mark on British history. To this day, November 5th is celebrated as Guy Fawkes Night, or Bonfire Night in the UK, with bonfires and fireworks. The celebration often included the burning of Guy Fawkes dolls, symbolizing his execution. Guy Fawkes' image has been redefined over the centuries, most recently being popularized by the graphic novel and film V for Vendetta. where Fawkes's mask became a symbol of resistance against oppression. The Gunpowder Plot was one of the most significant episodes in England's struggle between Catholics and Protestants, and had a long-lasting impact on the country's security policies and religious relations. It underlined the profound division and instability that marked early 17th century England.